Hi, Greg.
Hello.
Hello. What you drinking?
I'm drinking a Bloody Mary.
Ooh, a Bloody Mary.
I don't know if it's a good idea or not.
Why?
I don't know. Hungover. Which I'm not going to complain about. People who complain about being hungover. And look, you did it to yourself.
Yeah. And a lot of times it seems like it's just a way for them to brag that they'd been drinking.
Oh, yeah. I regret it. And there's nothing cool about the amount I drank last night.
Yeah.
So there's nothing to brag about. Hey, I escaped my reality more than you could even imagine.
More than you could even imagine.
Ugh. I'm way too old for this. Booze is for the birds.
But you're drinking right now?
Well, it's one of those things. Will it offset the bad feelings of the hangover? A hair of the dog, I guess, that you claim that only applies to the morning.
Yeah. So we're recording this in the early evening, and it seems way too late to be having the Bloody Mary as a way to fix a hangover. But I mean, whatever. If it works, then it'll work, and then you'll be good.
I don't know if it works. I don't know if it's a good idea. At first, the first couple of sips, it seemed like it was working, and then now my body temperature is shot up, and I feel flush.
Maybe it's the spicy nature of your Bloody Mary.
It could be that. It's all ridiculous.
Yeah. Maybe you just got to relax. Just lean into it. Stop beating yourself up for drinking too much and just accept that you had a night and it's fine. And now you're feeling the effects of that, but that doesn't mean you need to place any judgment on it. You had a fun tea at a time. Whatever. You indulged.
It just seems like the dumbest thing in the world to do this to yourself. I know people do it all the time. I know these are not new ideas just for me. Thinking, why?
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay. I said I wasn't going to come. I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
I'm just stating.
Kind of sound like you're complaining.
No, I'm stating.
Yeah. What's the difference?
Complaining. Oh, I feel so bad.
Yeah.
It's whiny complaining. So.
Okay.
So I'll just drink this thing and we'll get through this show and I'll try to do my best.
Okay.
And that's the approach, I guess.
Let's do it.
Okay. Let me take another sip.
Okay. Is it working?
I don't know. This probably is not a good idea. I think it worked a little, but who knows? Just want this day to be over.
Yeah. I think, like I said, I think if you just relaxed about your night, then maybe you wouldn't feel so hungover. You would just accept what you did and not put any judgment on it. And then you'd only feel slightly bad in the morning or the rest of this day. Instead of like, I'm a piece of shit and I don't feel good. And the fact that I feel like a piece of shit is making me not feel good.
I deserve it. That's why that happens.
You don't deserve anything.
I deserve
it's not
this
true.
pain. I deserve the pain.
Welcome to One Topic, where we stick to one topic. My name is Autumn Fisher.
My name is Greg Russ. Autumn, it is your week for the topic, so throw it out there.
I'm just going to throw it out there. I'm not going to do a big preamble. I'm not going to tie anything in to why I chose this topic.
I'll do that after you introduce it.
No, see, my joke was that I was going to say I'm not going to give a long preamble, but then do a lot of talking before I throw it out.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Anyway, the topic is childhood toys.
Yeah, childhood toys. We did a movie of childhood episode. And this
What?
It was a weird way to phrase it.
Are you from Russia?
We're diving back into nostalgia, I guess.
Yeah.
It's a type of, I feel like you want to escape. You want to escape all the troubles of the world and just go back to a safe time and talk about toys when life was fun and not scary. And nostalgia in itself should be a whole topic and how a lot of people like to live in it.
Oh, yeah. Nostalgia. We could really get into nostalgia because especially right now, people are having like instant nostalgia with Throwback Thursday and whatever other things they do. Or even like on Facebook where it was like your memories, from 1 year ago. You're like, oh, look at that. That's not enough time has passed to really have true nostalgia. But anyway, let's all escape together and remember childhood toys that we haven't thought about.
Let's not face anything. Let's avoid.
No, I will face. No.
And bring up glowworms.
I am not avoiding in my personal life.
I know.
But on this show, we get into deep topics and we can sort of brush up against what's happening now with other topics that we may come up with that might be more heady.
I get it. You just want to have a nice show.
I want to have a little nice time. I don't want to get too...
and talk about glowworms.
Yes. Did you have a glowworm?
No.
I had a glowworm. I wanted it to be the cubby that I slept with at night, but it wasn't.
Well, it had a hard plastic face, right? So it wasn't a good creature to sleep with.
And how did you make the glowworm glow? Didn't you have to squeeze something in its body?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it lit up.
Mm-hmm. And it always looks... What is a glowworm?
It's a worm that glows.
Have you seen a glowworm?
Look it up.
IRL?
I should have done the research, but a glowworm just kind of popped into my head.
Yeah. Well, it's a good one.
Glowworm, actual insect.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't live around. Who knows? Yeah, look at this thing.
Oh. Well, is it a lightning bug? Do you say lightning bug or firefly?
I think I say lightning bug.
Yeah.
Yeah, glowworm is it's larva form females that glow through bioluminescence.
Ew.
Include the European common glowworm.
Okay, anyway, it's a strain, and it didn't have a cartoon or anything associated with it, right? It was just somebody came up with this idea and said, we're going to make a toy called a glowworm.
Yeah, it's a protector at night. I'm scared, it's dark. Worm, light your face up. Mm-hmm. And scare the monsters away because they don't like light. Because they're like termites. I guess monsters and termites are related.
Well, speaking of monsters, I want to get into later, what are some of the first things you think of when you think of your childhood toys? But speaking of monsters, remember that monster thing that had the handcuffs and they'd break apart, and I think that's all he did was that he had orange handcuffs, and he would there was a commercial for it where he was being a monster, but it was a cartoon version. He'd throw his hands apart and he'd break the handcuffs. I never understood that toy even as a kid. Do you remember that thing? My Pet Monster?
Yes, I'm looking at it right now. This My Pet Monster.
Yeah.
No, I don't remember that. It's also a plush toy. So I mean, it's kind of close to the glowworm, which was half plush.
Yeah.
Stuffed animals I was never really into.
Oh, no?
I think I had some. Mm-hmm. And they were on my bed until I was way too old. My bed would be made and then the stuffed animals would be put on the bed. But at night, I didn't sleep with anything.
You had a blanket?
Early on, until it was taken away from me after I went to the barber and was scared that the barber was going to cut off my ear and threw a fit. And we went home and my dad took the blanket away.
That is heartbreaking.
He hid it. I was 3, I guess. And I never asked for it again, they said. He didn't throw it away. He took it and hid it. And they said I never asked for it. And apparently that has set the tone for my whole life.
Yeah, you didn't ask for the things you needed.
I feel as though the comfort things in my life will be taken away, but I'm not going to ask for them.
That's so sad.
You think I'm going to come begging? I don't need you and your comfort. You get out of here with that. Mm-hmm. So there you go. No,
wow.
I had a blanket, then I didn't have a blanket. And the stuffed animals on the bed at night, I would just throw them to the ground. I didn't cuddle with anything.
No?
No.
Man.
I don't see the point of stuffed animals. I feel like they're disposable. I just keep collecting them. I know that if you have one favorite one,
yeah,
that you hold on to, and that becomes the thing, and then it's threadbare, and you're 56 and you still have it. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, look how I still have this. Like, I can understand and appreciate holding on to things for a long time.
Yeah, that's me. Hello, you're talking about me. I have my whoopee, which is Snuffles, and he's been, stitched up, and he's missing fur, and he was a Gund bear, which is a brand of teddy bears, and it's interesting to see what he looks like, what he's supposed to look like, and what he looks like now, because he's just this like squished version of this bear. But anyway,
he's like an old set of steps where they've been rounded on the edge because so many feet.
Yeah, you're more likely to slip down those stairs because the carpet is so threadbare. Yeah. So he was actually my second whoopee. My first whoopee was Beggar Kitty, which was this like cat. It looked like a bear, but because it looks like it's a kitten begging for food, I guess. And that was my main whoopee. I loved Beggar Kitty. And we went on vacation to the beach, and I remember the morning we left that Beggar Kitty was on the floor next to the bed. And then next thing I know, like we're driving home, and I'm going to take a nap in the back seat, and I'm asking for Beggar Kitty. And I remember my parents looking at each other saying, "Did you pack Beggar Kitty?" "I didn't pack Beggar Kitty." "Did you see Beggar?" And then it was over, and she was gone.
Missing,
gone forever. And my mom said that I mourned the loss of Beggar Kitty. There would be like months and months that I would go by, and I would cry at night, like, "I want Beggar Kitty." And I still I held on to that sort of sadness and anger at them for a long time into my adulthood, that why didn't they turn around? We couldn't have been that far away, and maybe they just didn't realize what it meant or whatever. But yeah, I was really, it sounds so stupid now. I was really upset that they didn't go back for it.
No, when you're a kid, you get attached to something that you carry around. There's a comfort item,
yeah,
or a few. So I can understand why you would be upset. Not everyone's an alien like me, not asking for the blanket when it's taken away.
Yeah,
because the barber, he seemed careless to me at my young age, and I knew.
Well, you're 3. You're not supposed to be rational about what's scary and what's not.
I knew the scissors were going to slip and my ear was going to be cut off.
Yeah.
So I got the hell out of there. I refused to say. It's the thing is wriggling around probably would led to more danger than
right.
sitting there and actually getting your hair cut the way you're supposed to get it cut. But having a stuffed animal that you like, I'm not judging that. I'm just judging the constant collection of stuffed animals. I don't know why.
And they do seem, as a parent, they do seem to sort of accumulate. They just start appearing, more and more of them in your house. It shows,
and I'm not judging kids who want more, because as a kid, if you can just get another stuffed animal, sure, why not, I guess. But some people, not a lot, so this doesn't apply to many people, I think it carries over into collections later.
Beanie Babies?
Yeah, that was a thing, but there was some created value tied to those in the scarcity, and I've got the special one, and I have the full collection. So that ties more into, people who like to collect.
Yeah.
I need to have every piece of the collection. But, I mean, it goes to show, though, with kids, I feel as though stuffed animals don't even mean anything to them, because they'll just get another one. And then whatever one they got 3 weeks ago, they don't even think about probably again. And it's probably at the bottom of a closet somewhere.
Yeah, but kids are funny where they put things aside and then rediscover them. And it's usually when you're about to throw something away, then all of a sudden they find it and start playing with it, or start doing something, or sleeping with it, or whatever. And all of a sudden, this thing that hasn't been touched in months is something you have to keep. And that happens sometimes at the bottom of the cubby bin. All of a sudden something's being played with. So it's hard to get rid of stuff. You never know what they're going to want.
Yeah, I think about the number of toys kids actually have in general. In the 80s, I had probably more than I needed, but I had less than a lot of kids in my neighborhood. And a lot of that's tied to commercials. As soon as TV was started advertising things and you got to see toys all over the place, then some parents are like, okay, I'll get that. Like, there was a kid in my neighborhood, every Ninja Turtle that came out, action figure, every auxiliary and accessory, and it's like unbelievable. And we play with them sometimes, but that was just one of the things. And then he had all these other toys. He had the biggest bedroom I'd ever seen. It wasn't in the house, wasn't even a bedroom. It was just a room that I don't know what you would call it. It was like a very large room upstairs. Maybe it had been built out. But
maybe like a playroom, but it ended up being his bedroom.
Yeah, to house all these toys.
Yeah.
And then now I think it's gross that there are kids online who just open toys. And they get millions of dollars for opening toys, and all these other kids watch it. And then they want those toys, and they see toys, and give me more toys. And, I think back to even being a kid. We were talking about our favorite toys, I guess. But I don't even remember being that much into toys. No, there's not that. I mean, I liked video games.
Yeah.
I liked this weird VTech Smart Start computer that had these books that you would buy. And the computer was really just like a readout.
Yeah.
A display. It wasn't any kind of complex screen that showed, as you think of a computer screen or even a TV screen these days. But you would start up the computer, and then whatever book you had, you put some code in, so it knew what book you had.
Yeah.
And then it was like a teaching thing. There was quizzes, and I enjoyed that. You would input your answer.
I've never heard of that. I mean, I know what a VTech stuff is now, but I didn't know it was around when we were kids.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. I spent a lot of time with that. I enjoyed this thing called a talk and play, which is different than a see and say, or what's the spinning thing?
Speak and spell.
Yeah, whatever those things are.
I had a speak and spell. I loved the voice.
Yeah, but I didn't really enjoy those.
No? Why not?
I don't know. Cal says moo.
Oh, that's different.
Oh.
The spin thing where you pull
What's that one called? Anyway, there's too many of them. This talk and play thing was pretty much just a tape recorder. Well, it played cassettes and books. And, there were different licenses.
Did it have like a pen and you could put it on the word and it would know what the word was?
No, it wasn't that complex.
Okay.
This was just, they had licensing agreements with companies like Disney, so you could get the Jungle Book.
Right.
And then you put the cassette in and you would read the book, follow along at a young age. And I guess maybe it helped with reading.
Sure. They had that in record form.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I had the Jungle Book record with the book inside the record jacket thing.
Yeah, those things, this was just a version, an iteration of that.
Yeah.
Which then it had like a compartment where you could store the books and cassettes, and it had some colored buttons like red, green, blue.
This is a fancy toy.
I mean, it was really just a glorified tape recorder. Because you could record, there was a microphone, and my favorite thing was just taking this whistle that I had, like a referee's whistle, and screaming into it and blowing a whistle into it and then playing it back and listening.
That was what you like to do?
Yeah, that was.
What were you getting out of that?
I don't know. I think I probably just thought it was the coolest thing in the world that I can say this and then it can be played back. And now we record this podcast and I never listen to any of them. I don't listen to myself back at all.
Well, to be fair, you weren't talking into the microphone thing. You were blowing a whistle. So maybe if you were doing some sort of sound into it, maybe you'd listen back to this podcast.
How annoying was that? Maybe that was my rebellion for the blanket. It's like, I'm not going to ask for it, but I'm going to annoy the hell out of you to my parents. Get ready for this. I'm screaming all night into this talk and play.
Here, I want to play this speak and spell.
Which one is this?
Cover the word. You can do the mystery game where it gives you 5 letters. Let's have a tally. O-T.
Was this the flat thing that was like orange with the handle? Yeah. Yeah, there's comfort in that. Or those early voices that appeared. And those noises that do. I remember that. Mm-hmm. That just that it's not something I think about, but the memory of that sound lives somewhere in my brain.
For sure.
And now here it is again.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for taking me to a time back when, I wasn't hungover.
Oh, you're welcome. I had, for some reason, almost like one of those, like Rorschach. Is it Rorschach or Warshak?
Rorschach.
Rorschach test. Worcestershire tech. Rorschach test. Like the first thing that comes to mind when I think of childhood toys is my Teddy Ruxpin. I loved my Teddy Ruxpin.
Creepy as fuck.
I loved the music that would play. I loved him talking. I loved his mouth. I loved the commercials for it. I loved the story. I don't know. There was something about the Teddy Ruxpin I found very magical.
Yeah, I mean, to have the bear move, look at its eyes moving jerkily.
Yeah, well, no, he didn't go back and forth. It was just just blinking, right?
Blinking, and my mouth moves at the...
There was just something about his voice. I just really found his voice comforting. But yeah, and my friend Anna had the companion to Teddy Ruxpin, which was... What was he?
There was a weird creature.
Yeah, it was like a caterpillar or something.
Yeah, and then there was a big bird one that came later on. That's the one I actually got.
Oh, really?
And it was fine.
Well, my friend Anna had the caterpillar or whatever it was, companion, and for some reason she would never let us play with it.
I get that.
Yeah.
You want to talk about, our childhood toys. I didn't want people touching my toys. I didn't trust them. They break them, or they ruin them, or they would use them incorrectly.
Incorrectly.
Yeah, whatever. I did not like people coming over to my house when I was a kid. I would go down the street to the spoiled kid's house.
Right. With his playroom.
Play with all his toys, throw them around, not give a shit, then go home and like, oh, my stuff is still safe. Get out of here.
I didn't mind people playing with my stuff. I don't think I did. No, I don't think I did. I did a lot of weird stuff with my Barbies.
Like what?
Like I made them
Sexual?
kiss. Yeah. I made them kiss. Nothing like actually having sex, but my Barbies were horny for each other. And I made like a shoebox bed for them. And I put like Ken and Barbie in there. And I remember my cousin who's older coming over, and I was showing her my Barbies, and she thought that was really weird. And it was like the first time that I realized, oh, this might be weird.
I don't know. Maybe. My sisters had Barbies, and they would take them in the tub, and then sometimes I would take a bath, and there'd be like naked Barbies nearby.
Yeah.
And like, ooh.
Yeah. Did you think about their bodies in any weird? I mean, you're little, so you don't know what you're thinking.
Yeah,
Are you just interested in it?
Yeah, I didn't really understand.
Yeah.
What was going on? Why? But like, oh, these naked dolls are here, and look at their figures.
Yeah. So yeah, my Barbies never actually did anything sexual. Like I didn't know to like put Barbie's hand on Ken's nub, like his plastic bulge. Nothing like that, but just like smushing their faces and kissing. And maybe like her, Barbie has like a great shaped hand. And so maybe like you'd fix her hand up on somebody's face and it looks really good. Like weird things.
Caressing
like
a face.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's nice. It's where you formed all your sexual desires.
I guess.
You created them yourself through naked Barbie dolls. I looked up the voice actor of Teddy Ruxpin, by the way.
Who is
Just
it?
this guy, Phil Barron. He was the voice actor on all the tapes and on the TV show.
Nice.
But then he left the entertainment industry in the 90s to become a cantor, which is like someone who's associated with writing music for synagogues in the Jewish faith.
Wow. Okay. Well, did he do anything else? Any other voice work besides Teddy Ruxpin?
I mean, I could look him up. Will Ryan voiced Grubby. That's the one you're talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Philip Harry Barron. Let's see what else he worked on. It doesn't seem like there's much. The Adventures. He was a puppeteer, songwriter. He voiced Piglet in Disney Channel live-action puppet television series Welcome to Pooh Corner.
Okay.
And then,
I can never get over the word poo and it being like P-O-O. Poo.
but it's P-O-O-H.
I know, but it's when you're saying it and speaking it, it's the same word as poo.
Sure.
So when it's welcome to Pooh Corner, I just think of a pile of poop in a corner.
That was another thing I wasn't into. You're right. I always found Winnie the Pooh to be boring.
Oh, I loved that movie though, from the 60s.
I never saw it.
What? The one where he gets stuck in like Rabbit's hole thing, and then he's like, I am a little black rain cloud.
Nope.
No? Oh, it's
Nope.
really good.
I didn't see it.
It has great animation. It has the same type of animation as the Disney's Robin Hood and like Fox and the Hound, Jungle Book, that kind of animation that really appeals to me.
Even as a kid?
Yes.
See, as a kid, I don't think I thought about that stuff. Now I could go back and appreciate it more. But as a kid, how much are you really appreciating the animation?
I guess I wasn't, but I liked, there was like a similarity to those that I liked.
Well, I'm sure there's
like when it changed eventually when it was like Aladdin and Disney changed their animation style.
Yeah, I'm sure there was something that appealed to you.
Yeah.
That you saw. Yeah, I realize I'm saying, I didn't like that thing. I didn't like this. I enjoyed things as a kid.
Okay. What did you enjoy? What was your favorite toy?
I don't know. That's the thing. I don't remember having a favorite toy.
Was it Don't Break the Ice?
No, that board game.
It wasn't a board game. I don't know what those games are called. Those ones like that don't involve a board.
It's still, I mean, I think it's still a broader category.
Okay.
Sure. Technically, it's not a board game.
Yeah.
No, board games weren't something I was ever really into.
Candyland? You never played Candyland?
Well, I played.
You ever cheat with your parents on playing Candyland?
I didn't cheat, but I think at some point you realize that they're letting you win.
Oh, okay.
You're like, oh wow, maybe you've been letting me win this whole time.
Yeah, I got to Gumdrop Fairyland or whatever.
No, that Candyland board, and I know it's been updated, but whatever, and it was probably updated when we played it from other versions. But yeah, if we found that board, all those illustrations on it, like,
yeah,
oh yeah, that and that, and that.
It's neat what you remember. Like, it's just living in your brain space, and then it's reactivated when you see it. Because right now, I don't think that I could describe hardly anything on that board. But if you show it to me, I'm going to know every inch of it.
Yeah.
It's like
I can't remember anything either.
What other memories are just sitting dormant in your brain and just need to be sparked?
These are the ones they're all going to come flooding out right before you die.
Yes, you're right.
It's just a release of all of this.
Yeah, you're right. That's exactly right. So when I was talking about the two toys that come to mind first for some reason, like I said, is the Teddy Ruxpin, and then I also had this Play-Doh flower basket thing that came with, so it has these little compartments inside these like flower little designs, and you put like the ball of dough into each one, and you can like mix the colors so it makes these flowers different, like the petals different colors, and you pull the handle one direction and it smushes the clay through the holes and it makes these like flower designs. And I remember seeing the commercials for it. A tisket, a tasket, a flower making basket, something. And then I don't know why I got it. Maybe it was for Christmas or something, but I loved it. And the dough smelled different than other Play-Doh. It was like floral scented. Loved it.
Yeah, Play-Doh was, I think that was the best part of it. Opening a new jar of Play-Doh.
Oh yeah, it's exactly the same and still very satisfying.
But even with Play-Doh, it's like, okay. I don't know. I guess I know that I played with things. I'm trying to think back now. I mean, I liked Ghostbusters, and I had some Ghostbusters action figures, but...
Yeah, did you play with them as like G.I. Joes and stuff?
Some. I was more interested, like we got this shoulder-mounted video camera.
Oh, yeah, like a VHS
I would run
thing?
around with that, and I like doing that. And I feel like I did play outside a lot. Which is strange because now I don't want to go outside at all. But I feel like I was constantly outside.
Yeah.
And sure, there were some toys, but it was like a bike. Or when I was a kid, I guess there was that Fisher-Price bubble lawnmower.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And push that thing around. I seem to enjoy that. I also think we got it from Service Merchandise.
I think that's where we got Mario 3 the day that it came out.
Yeah. And
wasn't that thing where it was like it came down a conveyor belt thing? Yes, I think that's where. And I brought the insert for Mario 3 on the bus the next day because people didn't believe me that we had pre-ordered it and that we were getting it on the day of the release.
See, those were things I was really excited about. Video games, Super Mario 3, which I think was what was that movie.
Yes, the game,
Wizard.
The Wizard. Yes, just Wizard.
Is that what? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the kid who didn't speak but was good at video games.
Yeah, and he showed you the secret cheat on Mario 3 on those white cubes. Where
How would he even know that? But sure, because nobody had played that
Fred
game.
Savage was in it.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. But Super Mario 3 coming out because I loved Super Mario Brothers.
Did you love 2? I love 2.
I mean, 2 was just, as we talked about in our video games episode so long ago, was because the real Super Mario Brothers 2 was like the first one, except Nintendo of America said it's too hard for Americans.
Yeah.
And then so the Japanese got that version, and then they had to scramble and create a different version here, and they just took that game Doki Doki Panic and changed. They changed the characters out with Super Mario Brothers characters.
Yeah.
Because it's an anomaly. It's a strange. It's like it doesn't fit the style of play of the other games, and
it's my favorite one, I think.
I do think. I mean, they even at the end, it was all a dream.
Yeah, the ending kind of sucks. I never go to the end of video games anyway. You know what? With video games and me, it really is like reading a book. I will enjoy and love a book, and I just won't finish it. And it's the same way with a video game. I'm just not really interested in finishing. I just want to play.
See, that's what I liked. I liked books. I was some loser kid who liked books.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I didn't feel like a loser.
I didn't think kids who read were losers.
No, but I would love to go into the library and getting books and video games, getting through. And if the end was disappointing, it's like, oh, wow, all that work for that. I just felt like some work and effort should be put in for a little bit of a reward. If you put in the time,
I know, but
struggled
for all the struggling and the time you're putting in. I mean, what really can a video game give you?
I mean, sure, if it's something where the story is loose to begin with, like there's a storyline in Super Mario Brothers, like gotta save the princess.
This isn't the princess you're looking for.
No,
your princess is another castle.
The storytelling obviously has evolved in video games, but even something in, like, I remember Sonic the Hedgehog 2 was coming out.
Is that the one where he has a friend? Tails?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I could not wait. So I was waiting and waiting. And then, it came out, I think, around Christmas. So then it was going to be a Christmas present because I wanted to buy it. I don't know how I would have gotten enough money at that age to buy it, but I was scheming. And so I was just told that I was going to get it for Christmas.
Oh, okay.
Which, it was still very exciting. Like, I know the idea is like, oh, you don't know what you're going to get and you can open it. It's like, that made it worse. Because
I'd just be like, yo, just give it to me now and I'll get one less Christmas present.
Oh, no. No. I had to wait. But that made that wait ultimately once it came.
That's annoying. I wouldn't make you wait. If it's
Why?
like, all right, he's old enough to be trying to purchase this on his own, and I know that I'm getting it for him for Christmas, I'll just give it to him now, and he'll just get one less Christmas present. Big deal.
No, I think waiting.
What's the point of Christmas? Is it to make you wait and like you're gonna get it on my schedule, Christmas schedule,
Whatever.
or just like it's a gift?
It's
Just
an
give it to them.
excitement and anticipation. That's what Christmas was. The whole thing.
Yeah, but that's for stuff that you don't know you're getting.
No, it's for anything. It's like I'm waiting for Christmas. Make Christmas Day amazing.
Yes, I know, but there would be. It's not like that was the only thing you were getting.
I didn't care about the other stuff.
Right, you cared about the thing that they already had hidden in your house. They should have just given it to you.
I don't think so. I disagree. I mean, at the time, that age, I feel like that was 5th grade. I would have agreed with you then. But
well, I'm glad me and 10-year-old Greg are friends.
I just went and played that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, there was things I got excited about.
Okay.
It wasn't all like...
Oh, I had a spirograph that I absolutely loved. I loved it because we would take it in the car, and you could, on long road trips, it'd be like one of the things in the basket to sort of play with. You're like, ooh, the spirograph.
Yeah. I had a spirograph that I remember getting some enjoyment out of. Also, some other...
That weird football shape one that was really hard to control.
Yeah. But if you could master it, then you could get some good shapes in there.
Really good shapes. Sweet shapes.
There were, other building sets. This weird thing called Bone Age, which was dinosaur bones. So you could build a traditional T-Rex.
Oh, Oh, this sounds familiar.
But then like there was different designs that you could build, and then they became these weird forts that were built out of the dinosaur bones. And I think there were also cavemen that came along with it, which even at that age I learned that cavemen didn't exist.
Oh my God. Do you remember that? I'm sorry, I don't want to go too far away from it, but do you remember those kits or like those, I don't know what it was, where you could make like a figure, you could make something. It was like a science-y set. It was like a, it's alive type commercial. And it was like something being dipped in goo and then something coming out of it.
No, it's not ringing
All
any
right.
bells.
I don't know why. This is, again, it's just something's flickering in my brain. It's trying to send me the message.
Well, when you die, it'll all come out. This was Bone Age. I remember this. And I promise I haven't watched this commercial yet.
Okay.
But I remember they refer to the Triceratops as something other than the Triceratops. And it used to drive me crazy. I hated it.
The power, hear the roar. Bone Age, where cavemen fight in dinosaurs. Where T-Rex meets Tritops in Earth.
Tritops.
Tritops convert to battle wagon. T-Rex convert to fly.
Bone Age, assemble monsters never seen before. From the bones of these mighty dinosaurs. T-Rex and Tritops, each sold separately with a cave.
I hate, why Tritops?
Weird. Why are they calling it Tritops? Why in the world would they say that?
I don't know. I don't.
Is Triceratops licensed in some way that they can't? TM.
But it was strange. In that commercial, you see the T-Rex turns into this flying fortress thing, which wouldn't fly with heavy bones. And then there are always those sets that they played on that no kid actually played with.
Oh,
the toys on.
yeah.
It's like this actually looks like the land the dinosaurs lived in.
Yeah.
We think. But
there was on the side of my house, houses are always built on like different levels. So our neighbor's house was lower than ours. And there was this sort of like tiny little grassy valley where water would collect when it rained. And so there'd be this like little clear puddle of water with the grass. And I used to take my Barbies out there, and they used to be like in a lagoon. And it was, and I used to think about the commercials and be like, oh, I'm doing it. I'm looking like what things look like in the commercial.
yeah, a little set.
I also had
Look
My
at
Little
this.
Ponies and stuff that I played with in the tub. Typically, I was really into Rainbow Bright, especially the Rainbow Bright movie with that black horse with the red like mane that would, like when he talked, like wop 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 wop, it would move back. I was really into that. And Strawberry Shortcake a little bit. I was into a little bit of Strawberry Shortcake.
You're running a gauntlet with these things.
Yeah,
Sorry, now my phone is not on silent.
that's on. Tritops is texting you. Call me Sarah.
One thing I never got into, like I was saying earlier, this Bone Age thing, or other things that you would build. I feel like there were different types of sets where you could build things. Legos, though, I never liked Legos.
Legos, when we were growing up, I think were really different. Now it's like you buy sets of Legos to build specific things, and then you can build things off of those Legos. But when we were kids, it was just like, here's a pile of Legos.
Was it? Well, even in the sets these days, it seems as though you get the set, maybe you build the thing that you're supposed to build with the set.
Yeah.
And then ultimately everything gets thrown into one bin together.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, we've got all these things. And I guess it's similar to the way I feel about Minecraft. It's blocky.
Yeah.
And Legos to me were that. And I know there was some rounded pieces, but I didn't like the stuff you could build with it. I found it to be very limiting. So I wanted something else. It was more flexible. Which I don't really remember. There was a set. It wasn't Tinker Toys, but there was some other set of things that I had that you could build things with.
With those, like with that wheel looking thing with all the holes in it.
Yeah, isn't that fall into the Tinker Toy?
It might. Yeah, it might. I didn't have stuff like that really.
So, I mean, yeah, Legos though. I
love Legos now. I get the kids to play. Like, let's play with these Legos. It's fun. You just like throw bricks together, and all of a sudden you're making something. It's fun.
There's merit to that, surely, and creativity and putting a kid to test in that realm. But
Pete always makes trucks.
Don't you just keep constantly buying more? Aren't you just buying more and more and more Legos? Or this new set came out, I got to get more. What's the limit with Legos?
I don't know.
When does the Lego buying stop?
And there's not a great way to store them except for them to all just be in a pile of some sort.
Yeah, it's got to stop at some point.
I know. When?
All those sets, you couldn't even. Could you even find the pieces that you needed to build it again?
Well, you don't get rid of the pieces, so yeah,
But they
they're
get
just
mixed
in there. Oh, I know. And now the pieces are so small. I feel like there are hardly any. I feel like I have a lot of Legos with these kids, and I don't feel like I have very many like 2x4s. You know, the 2 dots and then the 4 dots down, and those are fundamental Lego blocks that you need. I have lots of like little bitty ones, and they're all like, a lot of them are really flat and skinny. It's annoying. I want like classic. I need to, you know what? I need to go to a garage sale where someone has died and they've had their grandkids' whatever. They're storing some of their adult children's Legos that they've had in their attic since their kids left the house. I need to buy those old Legos.
Yeah, apparently whatever toys I did have that were being stored in the basement, my dad threw away recently.
Oh.
Which would have been
He could
nice.
have brought them out for your
My nephew?
nephews.
Yeah.
Nephew and...
That's what my mom said, and it was too late. They were gone. I think some of those Bone Age things were in there.
Rats. So I've been getting some of my stuff back. So my kids have gotten into Care Bears. And forever, I had this Care Bear like set that was plastic, and it folded in half, and it was a heart shape, and it had this slide that attached to it and a cool swing and this like these cloud seats and stuff, and a bunch of little Care Bear figurines that I haven't touched in many, 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 many years. And so now that they're watching Care Bears, all of a sudden my Care Bear set came back out, and now the kids are playing with that.
Yeah, whenever there's a tie-in still of some sort, because I liked GoBots as a kid, the inferior product compared to Transformers. GoBots, there was the ripoff, but I watched that cartoon. So for some reason I was loyal. I was like, I don't want Transformers, I want the GoBots. I was like, there was that. Yes, that was not the right choice out of the two. But then Transformers became that awful.
Did
film.
GoBots have? The movie.
That changed everything. Just like the Lego movie, though, which I know those are good. But what I'm saying is, like, then Legos, I think that really thrust Lego back into popularity.
It did, yeah.
I remember when that was announced, like a Lego movie.
Yeah, and they were able to include a bunch of things because Warner Brothers and Disney or something happened so that they could include all these Disney characters that they weren't allowed to do before.
Was it Disney?
I think so.
Well, they have Batman, which is...
Well, maybe it's just Warner Brothers.
Which is DC, which is Warner Brothers.
All right, well, maybe it was like they got Warner Brothers involved and then they were able to use, all these other characters.
And look, they did a good job writing a story for that, because it could have just been a cheap product tie-in. So I'm glad someone says, like, no, let's do this right. Let's do this well.
Yeah, and it's funny. All the Lego movies are funny. I'm into it.
And you still haven't seen the Batman one.
No, I want to watch it. I think I watched half of it, and then my kids were like, I don't want to watch it.
I don't like the real thoughtful dynamic here that says that Batman and Joker actually need each other, and they're opposite sides of the same coin. And when Batman doesn't hate Joker anymore, it really bothers him, because hate is still a feeling, and apathy is a lack of feeling. And wow, boring.
I know. Listen, they're not 10.
I get it. I know. I understand. I like the model train set. My dad had this really old Lionel model train set with like die-cast trains, not the cheap plastic ones that had come out. I enjoyed that, but then there was another train set that came into play that on the commercial looked really cool, and it turned out to be the biggest piece of crap.
Oh no!
Super turbo train, which was this train that could like go up the wall, the track. You could build the track so it went up on the wall, and the train would run perpendicular to the ground, and then it had a loop. And you're like, this is going to be the best thing ever. And the train never stayed on the tracks.
Of course not.
But why? How can you build something like this?
You are
are controlling the fastest train in the world. The most revolutionary machine on tracks. The incredible Super Turbo Train. So fast it travels in scale beyond the speed of sound. So powerful it can do what no other train can do. Race up a wall defying gravity. Now the ultimate. You streak upside down through the giant loop. You turn out the lights and you're in night glow. Streamlining the darkness. Take control of the fastest train in the world. Super Turbo Train.
Extreme light.
From Tyco.
It's, right there is a lie. Faster than the speed of sound. This thing was not breaking the sound barrier.
Yeah.
Also, it shows the lights go out and the whole track glows, and whatever stickers you had to put on there that would cause it to glow. It's like, how long did you charge that up in super bright light?
Did it smell like metal? You remember those race cars that people had?
Yeah, because it had that trigger, the same kind of trigger that created the circuit for the electricity. Yes,
it had such a great metal smell.
Yeah. So that's a nice smell. It was those.
You know, it's probably not a great smell, but it's associated with a fun time that I had with the guys that I hung out with, the boys that I hung out with, and they had race car tracks like that, and we would play. And anytime we played G.I. Joes, they always made me be the bad guys because I was a girl. They didn't really want to play with me, probably.
Yeah, there was always some kids that wanted to be the bad guys. I'll be the bad guy. It's like, okay, what is that saying about you? What did you grow up to be? There were some kids I used to play with turned in, well, one in particular turned out to be a real creep.
Yeah.
And he would carry around dead fish in his pocket, so that kind of, pet fish would die, and then you put them in a plastic bag and carry them in his pocket. So they're warning signs. He probably liked the bad guys. The Mega Man bad guys were cool. In Mega Man was the boring one. A lot of times the bad guys, Scissor Man, Leaf Man.
Yeah, they had interest. That was an interesting game.
So I was gonna say I liked those bad guys because I thought they were cool.
Yeah, well, you're a creep.
I guess I am. Turns out that I am a creep. But they had things like action figures, G.I. Joe. I'm never interested in really playing with that.
Yeah, Transformers were cool. And like you said, GoBots, because did GoBots do the same thing? It's like transformed into a cheetah, a leopard.
All I remember is like a Volkswagen Beetle looking one that turned into something. That's all that comes to mind with that. Matchbox cars. I had some of those.
Yeah.
I enjoyed mostly smashing them with a hammer.
Really?
Yeah. Pretending they got in an accident.
Wow.
There was a cool Matchbox car wash. That I remember.
Oh, yeah.
You spun dry the cars. But they would fly out of the container.
Well, any of those, like, those little sets, right? It had like a little foam roller it would roll under.
Yeah, that was part of it.
I remember that.
So that stuff was fun.
There you go. So you have some good memories from your
I
childhood.
had plenty of good memories.
It doesn't sound like it.
I just wasn't into toys so much.
I was into reading and thinking about my feelings.
I liked going down to the little playroom that we had and playing with the fake food, like the Fisher Price kitchen that my sister had.
Yeah? That's interesting.
I didn't really play with it. I just like looking at it.
Oh, when I would, I don't remember why I was in there. I guess I was like volunteering or helping watch little kids at the church that I grew up with. And they had a really great kitchen set that you'd put stuff on the stove and it would sizzle, or it would like the microwave pretended to work.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I loved that.
That's such strange stuff though. I guess kids want to mimic adults.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and I had that baby. I think I talked about it before. It was like, turn me over. And all it said was, turn me over. It was supposed to say all these other things, but it mostly just said, turn me over.
And then there was the one that pooped.
I wanted that. Baby real or something.
Yeah, again, these things. Like, here's responsibility that you're going to have when you're an adult. You're going to cook. And you're going to take care of a child.
See, the reason why I think
Let's start training you now.
Yes. I think the reason why I was into that kitchen set was because my mom never gave me like a play kitchen, or I wanted those things like that stupid vacuum cleaner that had like those little tiny balls in it that would fly around when you would use it. You know, I wanted those things, but she didn't get it for me. And she told me it's because I'm not going to get you those things to sort of teach you that this is fun or this is something that you need to be trained to do. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. Start vacuuming now.
Yeah.
But I guess the lawnmower, that Fisher-Price bubble lawnmower I brought up, is kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
But it's like you follow your dad around, though. It's like my dad does this. He
Right.
mows the lawn.
It is my duty as a male species to mow the lawn.
I will also mow the lawn. Mm-hmm. And I ended up living in places that didn't have lawns. I've never had a lawn.
Yeah. Never? Even in the house in Cabbagetown?
No, because
Yeah, it was just like
the back was where we parked because it was on Carroll Street in Atlanta. And then there was like townhomes, those old townhomes from like the early 1900s. And then Reinhardt Street was behind that, and that had townhomes, and all the parking for everyone was in the back.
Oh, okay.
And there was a little yard on the side. There was no grass to mow.
Oh, okay.
So there was a little landscaping, but I've never had mowing the lawn. I've never had my own lawn to mow.
Did you mow the lawn at your house? I'm sure or did your dad do
My
it?
dad's psycho. He loves doing it. He enjoyed going out and doing yard work. And the few times I did mow the lawn, I don't think I did it the way he liked it. So. I would mow other people's lawns for money.
Oh, right. Okay.
So I've mowed lawns.
Yeah. It was my job to mow the lawn.
So weird.
Why?
Was it self-propelled lawnmower?
What does that mean?
It was one so the wheels turned themselves and you just kind of guided it. You didn't actually have to push it yourself.
Oh, I mean, I had to push it.
All right, so it wasn't self-propelled.
I think I had to push it. I would be sweating. There's one time I came in and I was feeling nauseous. You know, like when you're working out really hard and then you feel like you have to puke. And it was just my dad that was home. And I came in telling him, like, I don't feel well. And he said, drink some water. And so I drank some water and immediately threw it up. But I listened to Green Day's Dookie that album on cassette while I mowed the lawn, and I would sing so loud because the lawnmower's so loud it doesn't matter. It'd be like screaming all the songs and doing all the harmonies and stuff because there's a lot of harmony in that album.
Yeah, I would mow lawns to save up money, and I bought that go-kart. See, it was something I liked. That's a toy in a way.
Interesting. So
And then the spoiled kid got I bought a used go-kart, single-seater. Then the spoiled kid got the brand new two-seater go-kart that was faster than mine. His parents just bought it for him. Okay, there you go. It's like, oh, great. I put in all the work, and you just got this thing handed to you, and it's better than mine. But whatever, I still took care of mine. I painted it. I bought different tires for it.
it's cool.
I liked being, I know it sounds strange. I liked being outside. I had a pedal car when I was a kid that I enjoyed using. I had a big wheel that I liked. I had a roller racer that I didn't use properly. Like the roller racer, you know what those are. Right?
I think so, yeah.
There was those small, low-to-the-ground red yellow handles with roller skate wheels on them.
Okay. And you could like slide around in them, right?
You were supposed to sit on it and put your feet on the front handlebars and like turn it back and forth.
Right, that's right.
But I would sit on it on my knees and then push off the back.
Yeah.
So it could go a lot faster.
Cool.
So, yeah. I mean...
I was outside. I mean, I didn't stay inside constantly making my Barbies make out. I had my bike. I had my trike. And then I had my bike that I had training wheels on for way too long. Way too long.
How long? How old?
I don't remember. I might have been like 8. Something way too old. Across the streets, the neighbors, they were renting the house, and it was a family, and it was a bunch of girls, and I made friends with them, and they were like, you shouldn't have training wheels. And so they made me take them off, and then they taught me how to ride a bike.
I'm surprised you didn't want the training wheels off.
Yeah, I was like, no, I'm good. I want them on.
Yeah, seeing the other kids your age or younger riding bikes without.
I was like, I like them.
Man, those first bikes were better. Like bikes that were for kids where you just, it was one gear and you would brake by going
pressing back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you could skid.
Yeah. Oh, I fell off that bike so many times. So we lived on the sort of the crest of a hill going down, and right on the other side, the top of the hill, someone had spilled paint and then driven through it. So there were these like spots of tire tread in this paint. And I used to go down that hill and would weave between them. And I fell so many times. I'd have to like hobble home crying. I remember one neighbor, I was on the other side of the neighborhood and I was like, I had to schlep my bloody kneed self and my bike back home. And he saw me and he was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah."
That's part of it.
Yep.
Yeah, so it was being outside. Or when I was inside, I mostly preferred to watch cartoons or movies or play video games.
Oh, yeah.
So people like light brights. It was whatever.
I loved my light bright.
Yeah, I remember taking it apart. That's something I liked doing. I would take things apart. The light bright was a pretty simple machine. It was just a socket
bulb.
with a light bulb.
Yeah. Some black front.
Yeah, I took the black front off, took the light bulb out. It was plugged in though, and then stuck a screwdriver in that socket, and sparks flew everywhere.
Scary.
Yeah, that's why you have fuse boxes.
Thanks, fuses.
And then I like playing with things like a typewriter. I remember my dad had a typewriter.
Oh, yeah. Especially those ones that have the weird little arms that would come up and they'd get stuck together.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were so cool.
So, yeah, strange, I guess, child.
I had a talk boy. Still have a talk boy. Still have my talk boy.
Yeah, that was the one featured in Home Alone 2.
This is Mr. McAllister, the father.
Which we'll do a whole show on Home Alone 2 at some point, since we did one on Home Alone.
Oh, we have to wait until Christmas.
Wasn't that our second show?
I think so.
Just a show on Home Alone.
Oh,
people are probably
stay
thinking,
tuned.
"It's like, what the hell is this going to be?"
Well, if you haven't heard that, go back and listen to it. Go listen to our Home Alone episode and see where it all began.
Yeah, I mean, there's some good ones.
Yeah.
Most of them I'm not hungover.
You feeling better? I feel like, is it working? You seem better.
It took the edge off having another drink, but I don't. It's fine. It is what it is. Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking at my list here. Mm-hmm. That's it.
All right.
We've covered everything for me.
Okay.
I know there was probably a lot of other toys that I can't even think of.
Definitely.
I do think of like chemistry sets that had poison in them that they probably don't sell anymore.
Yeah, I had a great chemistry set.
Things that kids, whatever. I didn't die. I didn't burn myself.
Let's go through them quick. Popples. I had a Popple. I liked my Pound Puppy, a couple of them. Cabbage Patch Kids. I was not into Cabbage Patch Kids. The only thing I was interested in was that little hospital in Georgia where they're like born. I always thought that was really cool.
But you liked Garbage Pail Kids?
I was kind of into Garbage Pail Kids.
The creepy movie?
Oh, no, not that movie. That movie is I can't, no,
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Micro Machines. Remember the guy talking about Micro Machines.
Oh, yeah. I had some Micro Machines. Mm-hmm. Again, what do you do with these? Ultimately, there's only so much you can do. It's like driving around. I used them in making little movies.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
That's cool.
So they were props.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, driving around. I've got the Micro Machines aircraft carrier. I'll store them in here. Great. Okay.
Yeah.
Done.
Wuzzles. Do you remember the Wuzzles? They were like mixtures of animals.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think.
I had the like kangaroo, elephant, dragon. Game Boy, Atari. Oh, Viewmaster.
But
Those
they
are
were
cool.
3D.
Yeah. NES, of course. Magic 8 Ball. Mr. Potato Head, who cares? Slip and
Magic
slide.
8 Ball, I just wanted to break it open.
You did?
I wanted to see what was inside of it.
Oh, Etch-a-Sketch, whatever. That's kind of older. Right? Did Etch-a-Sketch come out when we were...
Etch-a-Sketch, I wanted to break it open
Yeah, again.
and see what was inside
Yeah,
of it.
what is that little dot that makes the Etch-a-Sketch go around?
It's 2 arms. And then it's the
Yeah.
powder that they use.
Powder.
I can't remember what kind of powder it is. But yeah, that was something I would do. I'd take things apart.
I had a Snork. Remember the Snorks? Mm-hmm. I loved my little Snork.
You had it all.
I had besides my Barbies, I had a Gem. You know, like Gem and the Rockettes or whatever. And Gem was huge compared to Barbie, and it was hard to play with her with them because she was so gigantic.
I remember Gem. I would watch Gem, the cartoon.
Yeah, it was cool. I think that's it. That's all I got.
Okay, there it is.
All right. Thanks.
Well, now it's time to come back to reality.
Let's open the door back to our real life.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Thanks for listening, everybody. Like and subscribe, rate and review. Go check out our sponsor, hoffandpepper.com. They sell hot sauce. It's really good. Use our code OneTopic15. Mwah! Hey, Greg.
Hey, Autumn.
Do you like hot sauce?
You know, I do like hot sauce, but I'm getting pretty bored of my regular Texas Pete or Tabasco. I'm looking for a local sauce without any additives or extracts. A company that uses local peppers so it's as fresh as possible, and a company that really cares about the integrity of the sauce and where their ingredients come from.
Definitely.
And hey, while we're at it, I don't want a sauce with too many ingredients. You know, a lot of other sauces out there, they have all kinds of fillers. So I'd love to find a sauce with, I don't know, let's say no more than 5 ingredients. I mean, it's crazy, but there's gotta be a company out there that hand processes their sauce. You know, bottling and labeling every bottle themselves. I'm probably asking a lot.
Well, you really are, but there is a hot sauce out there who only uses 5 ingredients.
What?
0 fillers, additives, or extracts, and who bottles, labels, and packages everything themselves. It's called Hoff Sauce.
What?
They're a small batch hot sauce company out of Chattanooga, Tennessee that's won Best Louisiana-style sauce in the country. How many times? Not once, not twice, 3 times.
3 times!
How does that sound, Greg?
I think that sounds amazing.
You know how you can get your own bottle of hot sauce?
No, tell me please now.
hoffandpepper.com. And not only am I giving you the gift of the best hot sauce that you'll ever taste, I'm going to give you 15% off if you use the code OneTopic15.
Hold on, that's...
Yes, get a pen and paper.
One Topic 15.
Good. That's ONETOPIC 15, all squished together at checkout. You'll get 15% off your order and your life will be better.
Thank you.
You're welcome.